Ava, can you close?
Hello, we're back with the Bridge Street League soccer news preview for this week. We're back for June 13th with the Soccer Rebellion. I'm here with Mike D and our man Dre. How you doing, guys?
Fantastic, man.
Good, sounds good. So a lot of things to talk about this week. So we're going to preview again. If you're new to the Bridge Street League, they play every other week. So I had some time off, and we're getting right back after it again tomorrow night. So with that, we got some top headlines. Mike D, why don't you give us a little preview, and then we'll dive into each one a little bit individually.
Yeah, so this week is West Michigan Soccer Community Night, and we're going to dive into that in a minute, so what that's all about and why we're trying to do that. Then we had Sugar Still Sweet, Sugar Rush, talking about Sugar Rush. Leagues, top dogs face gritty underdogs to open the night tomorrow at 6 p.m. Queens Clash, Laurie Remminga, last year's MVP versus Medina Hyde. Yeah, I'm going to stop there.
Yes. Yeah.
In a legacy versus legend duel. So Medina is actually new to the league this year, but she has proven to be an all-star already. And then we have the Bloodlines versus Borders, BIH versus Chill FC in a battle for bragging rights. These are two OGs of the street soccer and the Rebellion. And they actually used to be the same team at one point. We're going to discuss that. And then Young Bloods, Old Souls, Aztecas, and Muskegon FC storm the top six. So we have some new teams that are starting to emerge on the men's side.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So let's get right into it, guys. More than a game. Mike D, you want to touch on the community night first?
Yeah. And Jay, I kind of want your opinion. Feel free to jump in on this, but what we're trying to do with a lot of our efforts is show collaboration first that promotes players, that promotes sports over political campaigns and any type of political direction or incentive, and more about just what the community really looks like. So even if you are an organization, or if you're a rec league, or if you're a high school, if you have a soccer program, this is for you. We want to showcase what West Michigan soccer is all about, and who the players are and who the community is. And this is the night for you to come out and be celebrated and just get a different vibe and a different feel for it as we celebrate the culture that unites us. Jay, I guess my question for you is, I mean, in Columbus, from high school to clubs to rec, do you see the same type of segregation that we see over here in Grand Rapids, to where it's almost the capitalism of American society gets in the way of actually truly promoting the sport?
Yes, I would say so. Yeah. I think it's very, you're with this group or you're with that group, and that's it. Even obviously mainly between high school and club, it's kind of like you can do both. That
I think you froze. I think what you were talking about, I think probably so many people are watching this right now that you froze would be my guess.
That's a good picture right there, Jay.
That is a great picture. He's the man in action right there.
Oh,
now you're buzzing in now. Now, yeah, you just
technical difficulties.
No, you're good. So go ahead and say what you were saying about. So the last thing I heard was about the difference between high school and club. And
yeah, so I mean, I think there's just I would agree with you that there's some, it's kind of like you're with one group or another.
Yeah.
And then even as the year goes on, if you're in high school, it depends on what time of year it is, and you have one coach tugging you to come to the high school stuff, and you have another club coach telling you, no club is better. I could see that.
And and especially after what we just had here for Michigan, we just had our tryouts, or this is the week of tryouts. So premier and select tryouts for the most part. I know that MLS Next is a little different than some of the ECNL. I think I'm not exactly sure when their leagues are, but I think it's important at the end of the day that we all show that we have love for the game, and that the reason that we're in this is in true joy for the game. And hopefully this shines light in the fact that, this is not just about being pro. This is changing that lens about this game has a beautiful culture to it that can give you glory, especially at the Soccer Rebellion. But and still just give you friendships, give you community. And there's so many great things to this sport there. Going pro isn't the only thing that's attractive about this game.
So,
Yeah, well, sorry, Dre, real quick. We talked about a long
No.
time ago, Mike. Do you remember about, like you said, one of the greatest things was not just having the street soccer with Soccer Rebellion, but having kids from the suburbs show up
Yeah,
to play with everybody and just
right.
play, right?
Exactly right.
Sorry, go ahead, Dre.
Oh, you got it. So just a different perspective on it. Because I work in the high schools and we see kids, in our community, they're out every day, right? So we have a practice field that's up top. The boys' season is in the fall, girls are in the spring, but our boys are consistently trying to find a spot to play. So I think that the Soccer Rebellion offers, those opportunities. We saw some of my high school kids down at the Rebellion 2 weeks ago,
That's
and
right.
Mike and I had a conversation with one of our top players that's coming back. He's a young kid, sophomore, and he was talking to us about MLS Next and what decisions he should make. When you are the adult and you can help these kids make the decision, do not steer them to one path, right?
Mhm.
Give them the opportunity to have open mind. If that kid wants to go and have a shot at MLS Next, I'm not going to be the person that's going to tell them, hey, that, because it's not my path,
Yeah.
right? So you got to let these kids also make their own decisions when it comes to where they want to play. And the Rebellion often that gives them that opportunity to come down, check it out, right? When they turn 18, now they get an opportunity to get out there and play, right? So I don't know, man. The adults got to step back sometimes.
But
So
that's the truth, and right, like our whole mission, and Dre, like what you know about with basketball, a lot of the development's happening in pickup games. It's happening on their own, and I feel like soccer doesn't necessarily have that landscape. And I know we've talked about that till we're blue in the face here, Jay. But I
Yep.
mean, parents, you got to start understanding that you know this development doesn't require just training from coaches, especially when the game is so much more about individual thinking and decision making. You can't go into games and then make mistakes on the trainings that you had. I just had this conversation with one of my friends, Brad, the other day, to where think about when we coach, Jay, you're focusing on certain techniques. The kid makes the right decision, but maybe isn't equipped with the
Yeah.
technique to be able to do it. And then maybe something happens to his team and in transition because of it. That kid now becomes afraid of making the right decision, but now he becomes afraid, I don't have the quality of technique, and maybe steps back. And
Yeah, but
so
you have to reinforce that at least they made the right decision.
right. And that should be the bigger picture. Like, look at what I was trying to create.
Mhm.
And so for the youth that are coming out, that we have a pickup game for the kids. They're coming at 5:30. They get a t-shirt. They play till 6. We're going to give them the whole atmosphere. We'll have the live DJ. We'll MC. We'll get everyone around. We'll just make sure they feel like they're on stage and
Yeah.
just give them the feel of the freedom with no coaching and just let them play.
Very
Let
cool.
them just enjoy their passion and do that. But the idea is to showcase, this game is yours and you mold it to the way that you want to. And we look at this game a little bit too much like the X's and O's of football, when we need to start diving into this is a little bit more like music, in the sense where you need to be able to create a little bit. You need to come out here and enjoy and figure out and problem solve on your own.
my
And
favorite part about the community night usually is when the adults are around the court cheering on the kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
Making them feel really a part of it. And then you see a lot of smiles, right? I'm thinking right now of Ava last year with her girls
Mm.
team. And they was like a mini version. They was asking the DJ to play certain songs, while they're out there. So you can see that, them getting hyped and being in their own zone. Again, with us just being there supporting them.
Yeah. So very cool. Make sure you check that out tomorrow night. Soccer Rebellion West Michigan Soccer Community Night. And then we'll get into the details here of what's coming along. So preview Sugar Still Sweet. What we got there, Mike D?
So Sugar Still Sweet, league's top dogs face gritty underdogs. It's with a team like Sugar Rush in first place, and the way that they've been handling their business. Last week, they had 3 impressive wins. Tonight, tomorrow night, they only have 1 game, but it's a game to not actually be overlooked, because girls as players too, they actually have some dogs on that team. They have some players. You got Maddie here in black and the convention shirt, who is someone that can make things happen. She's creative on the ball. She's detail oriented. So, and it kicks off the night for us. But, you know, Sugar Rush ladies, they're always entertaining to watch. And I think after tonight or after tomorrow night, they're going to continue to be undefeated, have limited goals against, and they're going to put on a show. So I'm happy that they're on right after the kids get to play.
Yeah, show some love to that goalkeeper from Girls as Players too. You know, she's very intense out there. So that should be a good one to kick off the night.
All right, very cool. So moving on, Queen Clash. I'm not going to pronounce either name, but I'm going to let you do that, Mike D.
So, all right, so let's try this again. So, Lara Remaga, I know I got that right, but Medina Hindich, I'm going to say.
I like it.
The name. And a Legacy versus Legend duel. So, I've played with Medina on the right. She is very gritty, has a knack for the goal. She considers herself a finisher, but she doesn't stop working. She's one of the players that stays up top and will continue to find her angles and continue to find herself in front of the goal. You can see that with 4 goals, 1 assist already within the season. But Lauren Remaga is proven. She was last year's MVP, 5 goals, 1 assist already. This year, she's on a brand new team. So there might be with RBDs, but I think RBDs is actually a little better than her team was last year. So I'm actually looking at this to see if Medina steps up to this challenge. And I feel like she's a type of player that knows that Lauren Remaga is coming at her, and will want to Draymond Green her a little bit and kind of get in there and shut her down.
So the theme tonight is probably going to be young ballers, right? So we got a lot of youth right now that's coming up in the league. And I think on Venom, they also have Candace, who is one of the top goal scorers as well in the league. So, you know, they've been showing up and putting together some impressive matches early on. So this would be a good test. You got the MVP, you know, up against the young guns. So we'll see what happens.
And Lauren is the one in the promo video, correct?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so very cool.
Yeah.
Make sure you check that out. Tomorrow night, Bloodlines and Borders.
So BIH versus Chill FC. Again, OG, like the original 6 in hockey. I don't know if you can play this. That's Eddie Bertalik right there. That's the first Rebellion clip to ever go viral. He actually rainbows that kid right there, then one touches it into the back of the net. It's one of our first clips to ever go viral. But back in the day, they were called this team called Bosnians and Mexicans. And they had this very unique style about them. And they just dominated. And the way that it was unique, you had kind of the Mexican creativity paired with this Bosnian directness and chippiness about them when they played. And it worked so well. They were extremely dominant. And they were the team to beat. They kind of got all the glory in the beginning. They won the Rebel. We used to call it the Rebel Cup 3v3s back in the day. And they won the first ever Rebel League. What they split. So once we did the Bridge Street League in 2022, Chuco took Chill FC, which primarily became kind of the Mexican team. And then Zuka, who didn't play for the Bosniakan, who owns BIH, which is a semi-pro team here. And he actually played for the national soccer team. I don't know if it was futsal or what it was, but I mean, he's fantastic back in the day. And the guy's 40 years old now, and he's still playing hardcore. Like he puts me to shame every time he's out there. But there's a lot of history there between these two teams. Eddie now being on BIH. So these guys, I think, have a lot of respect for each other. But this is definitely a game where bragging rights come into play.
What do you think, Dre?
I mean, I know that the history, right? So you think about rivalries when it comes to, you know, all sports. And I don't think these guys, they don't like each other. So that's why, you know, I'm a little hesitant to call it a rivalry. But I think we're going to get a real good match out of this. And, you know, the court is always buzzing I mean, the last few weeks, it's just been pure entertainment. So, Chill FC, those guys, they're class acts. They've been with us, everywhere. BIH,
Mhm.
they're the OGs. So I can tell you this: nobody wants to lose tomorrow.
That's
So
the
Yeah.
truth. Yeah, both teams are going to come at it. So it's a game that you're definitely going to want to witness because both teams are going to come hard, and because they're both standing. I think BIH is top 7, and I think R1s are sitting at 4th place, right? Or CHLFC is sitting at 4th place right now. So they both got a lot on the line to stay on that top up line. I know BIH suffered somewhat of a embarrassing loss last week. So we'll see, man. I know it's going to be a comeback game for them. It's another way for them to keep that respect on their name, and they're going to go at it. It's going to be a good game.
sure.
All right. New Era Rising.
So we have some new cats in town. Aztecas and Muskegon FC, 5 and 6 in the league.
Okay.
Now the story here for me, right? So this puts them in front of BIH. This puts them in front of One Touchable, City Heat, some teams that have been around for a while. So they're already kind of climbing the ranks faster than kind of anticipated. Muskegon FC, this is their 2nd year in it. And like I've said from the get-go, I'm a fan of their flow and the grit that they bring to it. They have Coco Flores, which is 3rd to the right if you're starting at the left, who is just an insane athlete that is very, very fun to watch. But Aztecas, the average age is 19 years old. They are the young bloods of this league, and they have, with a 4-2 record, have already put respect on their name, most definitely. So it will be very interesting to see if they can continue to build that legacy that they're building already this season. And so they're just storylines to keep an eye on. Muskegon FC upset R1s last week, in a very heated battle. So it's these are 2 teams to really keep an eye on that looks like they can take down anyone on any given day.
Yeah, I think at some point we got to stop calling it an upset, right?
Valid.
When you got these guys like you mentioned, Coco. So you look at stars. I don't want to get into NBA talk right now because the finals is a little wild, but Coco's that wild card, man. He's like an Iverson or something like that.
Yeah, he's something
he could be
different.
a one-man show at some point. So when you got Aztecas, those guys, I think they got the best jerseys in the league. Those
Most
look real
definitely.
clean.
Those are the Bape and Ape jerseys.
So,
so the Aztecas got Christian Diaz, who considers himself a playmaker. He's got 8 goals and 3 assists on the season. And then right behind him, you got Brandon Gomez, who's got 6 goals and 3 assists, who considers himself a finisher. So, again, like we talked about, right? If you have those 2 kind of elite players, you can find a supporting cast, and you can go pretty far in 5v5 soccer.
Yeah. So very cool. Check out the Young Guns. Keep an eye out for them as they continue to make their move. And last but not least, Mike D, tell us what we have. We talked about Culture Night. Games kick off at 5:30, but that's the youth portion tomorrow night, correct?
Yes, but all players get there early between 5:30 and 6 so they can register and get ready for their games so we can stay on schedule. And the whole idea behind this being community night is we want you there the entire time, right? This is a celebration of soccer and what we have going on. We will have food trucks. We actually, Moz Plus will be coming. Moz Plus by Messi, his new athletic drink will be coming. He'll have a skills station. So he'll have some skills challenges for you to be able to do. We have ice cream. We're going to have a taco truck. We're going to have Brazilian food. Our Lebanon friends are making their food. And then we're going to have $2 beers, Modelo's and Coronas, for the college kids that just finished school and they're in the area. So if you guys come from 7 to 9 p.m. with a college ID, $2 beers for you to come. So we want to make this a big celebration. Summer's kind of feels like it's finally kicked off. It's supposed to be good weather tomorrow. So let's have a good time. Let's all come together, be neighbors, listen to some good music. We got DJ D Child and DJ James B. And go nuts and be the best vibe in Grand Rapids.
Love it. Sounds good, man. So there you have it. The Soccer Rebellion tomorrow night. Make sure you check out the Bridge Street League. It kicks off at 5:30. And once again, thank you guys. Until next time, peace out.